are having a great day. Happy Wednesday. It's Amy and here, Amy, GM, COO, and all things great. And me, just another happy Keller Williams gentleman. So your OP Brian and Rohan here. And let's get into it, shall we? So Amy, let's open it up.
Yeah. So we always like to revisit our purpose, right? So our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving.
Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Our vision is to be the real estate company of choice for agents and your customers. And our values are God, family, and business. Our beliefs are the Y4C2Ts. The win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing, customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, seek first to understand, creativity, ideas before results, teamwork, together everyone achieves more, trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, success results through people. And our perspective is a technology company that provides the real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. We think like a top producer, act like a training consultant, and focus all activities on service, productivity, and profitability. That's who we are. Anybody have a bucket bill?
Tell me something good.
Something good?
Hello, escrow is open. You want to
Tina
tell us a little
Yang.
bit about it?
Tina Yang, yeah.
Yeah, I just on the way here, just opened escrow in Anaheim. It's a new home. It's very new. Just a townhome, very rare. It's a second phase, so it's very good value for the both investor or first time home buyer. Yeah, we went to see the model last weekend, and we bid offer, and then we got. So, yeah, thank you.
Very good.
Great work. Great
Anyone
work.
else?
Tell me something good. What are we grateful for? What do we appreciate? Who are we grateful for?
I know you have
Come
something
on.
good.
We're signing a very nice lease tomorrow, 3.1 million in considerations, 10-year term. It's a good lease. So that'll be done tomorrow.
He said, I like how you go from
VW commercial.
very nice lease to it's a good lease, right? You know, so it's either way, it's all good. I love that. 3.1 in considerations. And you know we've got a growing commercial division that we're excited about and we're continuing to work with. So we appreciate your patience and the openness to allow us to reinvent, because we're in the process of reinventing our market center in various ways, and we're excited about that. So we appreciate the patience, the openness, and the willingness to evolve with us, because I'm sure that you are aware real estate is evolving in more ways than one. And if we're not open to evolving ourselves, then we're going to find ourselves behind. And our speaker today is going to touch base on that and how he's developed himself and continued to evolve in the market, and how he sets the expectations with his clients on how to stay ahead and work to he's the doctor in the equation. He's the CPA. And I had this conversation with a coaching group that I've got. And one thing that we talk about is, would you wait for a good doctor? Would you wait for a good CPA? Absolutely. If they're good and they bring value, and if they're 3 weeks out, you probably wait for that. So think about those moments. So thank you. I just hijacked that for a second. Yeah. Any bucket fills? Anything else? Everybody good? Gratitude.
Online.
Yeah, Kyle's being a little modest. Kyle took his first seller listing on Friday.
Way to go,
He's a little quiet right now, a little too quiet for my liking. You take a seller listing 2 months in your real estate career and have nothing to say. I'm
pretty
just
impressive.
I'm playing with him right now. I'm just joking. He's probably in a place where he's like, I can't talk right now. However, so big kudos to what Kyle's doing in our coaching program and our coachees, if you will. And we've got some exciting things coming up with that. So great job to him, and the other folks who showed up yesterday. So that's something that we're going to do. This is not on the slides. And we're opening this up to everybody. Is we had a call day yesterday, and we had three people show up to our call. Four people, three in person and I think one digital, and maybe five. I don't know the count. Anyway, the point was there was multiple appointments set yesterday in the call day, and just in about an hour, hour and a half of actual dialing, there were 3 to 4 appointments set from that day. And Kyle goes out and sets another appointment while at Barnes and Noble, right? And so why not? And so something that we would like to do is, we had lunch. Allie was grateful enough or gracious enough to grab some food for everyone. Not saying that this is how it go, and yet why not? Let's get a pleasant surprise. So Tuesdays moving forward, why not? If you want to hit some phones and have some scripts, have an environment, some team support to make the tough calls, let's jump in. Let's do it together. Why not? So every Tuesday until unless otherwise stated. I'll just say that my schedule does change because I'm going on vacation in 3 weeks. So just heads up on that. So that week I'm saving earmark. However, other Tuesdays outside of that, you can bet on us being here making calls. So feel free to join us.
Yeah, join in on that. Good stuff. That's awesome.
What do we got?
All right.
Did I move too quick?
No, that's
Okay,
okay.
we're
We
good.
got
All right.
March production rankings. So these are the top people in March. So these people right here had $1 million month. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Congratulations to these folks. Oh, there's more. Just wait.
And this is our monthly home run list. These people in the month of March had a listing, a sale, and a contract written. That's what the home.
Fantastic.
Congratulations, you guys.
Great job.
All right, we've got closed sales volume for March. These are the top individuals. Olivia Tsai at 3.7, Wei Chu 2 at 2.258, Kenise Purcell at 1.425, Charles Chamorro 1.385, Andrea Campos 1.290, Carlos Edwards 1.1880. I don't have my glasses on. Lillian Lee almost $1 million, Alan Van Koo 800,000, Thomas Ryan 750, Mia Wang 682,940. So good job, you guys.
Strong March. Way to go. Let's give those
Yes.
folks a round of applause. Show them some love.
Great month. And closed sales units for top individuals, Kenise Purcell, 3 units, Andrea Campos, 2, Charles, 2, and Olivia, 2. Awesome
Give 'em a
job.
round. Good job.
Good month.
Give them around. And then for teams and groups.
Teams and groups, we've got closed sales volume, movement real estate, 14.747, not bad. Purpose Life Homes, 6.725. Fusion Home Group, 3.630. Awesome numbers, you guys. Congratulations.
In the month of March, right?
In March, yep, closed sales units.
And then this is the unit. Yep. So yeah, that was
Sorry.
volume.
Sorry, I'm losing track of what I'm doing. All right, we've got movement real estate, 21 units, Fusion Home Group, 10 units, Purpose Life, 8 units. And closed sales units for March. Awesome job, you guys.
Give them around. Give them some love.
And so normally we do year to date, but we're just going to go with quarterly. So first quarter numbers, pretty impressive.
Oops, went too fast.
That's okay.
There we go.
So first quarter for individuals listings taken in Q1, Charles Chamorro with 6, Jenny Fang 4, Andrea Campos 3, Jason Quay 3, Mauricio Rodriguez 3, Olivia Tsai 3, Howard Kuo 2, Kenise Purcell 2, Mary Jo Termier 2, Tina Yang 2, and Mia Wang 2 listings.
Awesome.
Good job, you guys.
Good job. Tina, working.
Closed sales volume for the first quarter. Olivia Tsai, 5.4 million. Mary Jo Termier, 4.258. Excuse me. Charles Chamorro, 2.835. Howard Kuo, 2.6. Kenise Purcell, 2.4. Lillian Lee, 2.2, almost 2.3. Wei Chu Tu, 2.258. Thomas Ryan, 2.128. Andrea Campos, 2.045. And Jim Boswell, 1.85. Awesome job. Really, really good. And then for units, closed sales units for those individuals, Kenise Purcell with 5, Mary Jo Termere with 5, Charles Chamorro with 4, Thomas Ryan with 4, Andrea Campos, Howard Kuo, Jason Quay, Olivia Sai, Tina Yang, and William Gia, all with 3 units.
Awesome. Good
Congratulations.
work. Good job, everybody.
Yep.
We got team and group.
Yeah. Teams and groups for listings taken in the first quarter. Movement Real Estate Group with 26, Purpose Life Homes with 8, Fusion Home Group 3, and the Aguirre team with 3.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Good job. Good job.
And closed sales volume, Movement with 27 million, Fusion Home Group with 13 million, Purpose Life Homes with almost 10 million. So
Awesome.
congratulations.
Great job.
And then closed units for the first quarter, got Movement Real Estate Group with 47, Fusion Home Group with 24, and Purpose Life Homes with 12 units.
Awesome. Great work. Great
Great
work.
job, you guys. And we want to recognize Movement, their top 3 for year to date or first quarter. We've got Leticia Sotomayor, Laura Alba, Celia Valenzuela. Great
Awesome.
job.
Great job.
And in units, same 3, Leticia, Laura, and Celia.
Awesome.
Off to a good start.
So, our intention is that we're working to ensure that, as you see here, everybody on our payday, congratulations, we've got paid between 4/13 and 4/26. Congratulations to everyone who's been inspirational on being able to hit these numbers. The big thing is that we're working to bring training and speakers and content that's going to help us increase our performance. We know that the more we attend our trainings, the more your production grows. And so reach out to us if there's certain speakers or trainers that you want to hear from or know about, and hear, you just have us come to the office and so we can listen to what they're doing well. Please let us know, because we want to know what you want to listen to and what you want to know, so that way we can bring that to our office and help you produce and increase your performance. So our goal is to set it up for you. And then, we want you to be able to come in and participate on that. So now that's why I bring up the upcoming events, because these events are going to be in place to help us increase our performance and change and grow our mindset. So number one, though, why not have a good time? So, right? Why not have a good time? So we've got our meet and greet, first meet and greet of the year. You can maybe even consider this our 2022 meet and greet of the year, icebreaker, and us coming together and having a good time, learning about each other. A lot of real estate is relational. You get a lot of growth and when we have the ability to learn from each other. So if you haven't RSVP'd, RSVP, and it's going to be tomorrow, actually, the 28th, here in Chino. So we're supporting a local Chino business. And we're gonna have 2 hours, just us. We close off the whole facility. KW Vision is going in there and taking over for 2 hours, a whole restaurant venue that we've booked. So it's not cheap. We've got food and we've got drinks provided. So it's free. I don't know how else to say it. It's just easy way to say it. It's free, right? So you're right. Good to know, right? And drinks too. All right. So if someone in our office who doesn't know, bring somebody that you've been wanting to connect with in our office to this event that may not be aware of it. So I would have thought that this thing would have booked up in like an hour. We have 40 slots. Right now we're like maybe 30, 35. So come on, and I would even say let's go to 50. Let's go to 60. right? And then because not everybody is going to be there at the same time. So let's do it. That's it. That's all I got. Good. That's it. All right. Show up. Look at that. Who wants some of that? I don't know if that's going to be served. That steak there, however, it looks really good. It looks really good. I'm sure you might have an appetizer that's close to that. Right. The point is the drinks will look as served. So it's good. Perfect. So that's one of our events. Oh, good. Yes. And so this is what we've got. What's happening, huh? So you want to share what we've got going on? Obviously, we've got Scott Leroy.
Yeah, we've got Scott Leroy. We are partnered with him for KW Tech. So he does all of your agent onboarding, as you guys through it with him. But he also does tech training on command and everything in command. And his trainings are great. He has live trainings and he has web training. So you can always plug into that. We've got Ignite coming up. Ignite is on Zoom. It's Real Estate 101. For those of you who are newer to the business or would like a refresher, this is a great course. You can find the links for this on the Facebook, the KW Vision exclusive page in that group under events, and it's also posted in the feed. So we've also got contracts with Kelly. That's also on Zoom. Kelly is out of Carlsbad, is that right?
Yep.
She's out of Carlsbad office. And so she kind of covers several KW offices. But if you need to understand contracts at a higher level or just get familiar with them, great class to plug into. And then we also have CRMLS. We've got Searching 101 and Engaging Clients. So we've got 2 classes from the CRMLS coming over here this next month. And then we have the next stakeholders meeting coming up on the 11th. So make sure you mark your calendars with that. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And we also have some events that not on here. Oh, yeah, of course. Brian, just stick to the slides.
So Keller Williams Red Day is coming up. It's Thursday, May 12th. And we have partnered up with Food for Life Food Bank. So they have limited availability. So what we're doing is we have printed up flyers for you guys to take, and you can staple your business card on the flyer, go to your farms, go to your spheres, do it electronically, however, but get the message out that you'd like to collect food from anyone that you can collect food from, and then set a date, time, whatever to pick up. And I mean, preferably, you know, we're kind of blocking out the 12th for Red Day. So if you want to pick up food on the 12th, we're going to leave here from the office at 3:30 to go deliver the food. Food for Life Ministry is up in Chino. So it's close. And then from 4 till 6, 10 people can stay to help at the food bank, but they only have room for 10 people. So everyone can kind of participate in a different way, or, you know, all together, depending on how many people show up. Hopefully we get a good turnout and a lot of food to stock up and help people in our community. So
Love that. Thank you for that. Yes.
yeah, here we go. We've got a financial roundtable with United American Mortgage coming up on June 3rd from 1 to 3, and it's at Los Serranos Country Club, which is right around the corner from here. So this is going to be great. Brian, do you have anything to add to go into a little more detail on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna invite Tom Corcoran from United American Mortgage to jump in on this and share a little bit about not only what's going on in the market and why the financial roundtable is such a big deal for us to attend and take a look at, as well as what we're going to get out of it. So I've known United American for years. I've done business with them for years. They've been a phenomenal team that offer a variety of different solutions, whether it be a paper to bridge loans. I'm speaking out of turn, Tom, so I don't know, right? And yeah, you offer a bunch of stuff. So
it's your ship, Brian. I didn't want to cut you off. You
yeah,
know,
I'll let you jump in
just
on,
grateful to be
this,
here.
This segment of it. So
No, I appreciate that. Okay, hey guys, Tom Corcoran, solutions-based mortgage banker with United American Mortgage. Happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me. As Brian was pointing out, the reason our motto is solutions-based mortgage banking is that we are not only a hybrid in the sense that we're both mortgage bankers, but we're also mortgage brokers. We have probably the most extensive lending menu in the industry. So what I like to tell a lot of people is that if we can't get it done, it's probably not going to happen, right? But with that, we have the ability to provide a solutions-based approach to every single lending scenario, in addition to being able to be extremely competitive with respect to the interest rates, which is very important in this situation that we find ourselves in at the moment. These financial roundtables, first of all, I am super excited that we're doing our first one in the Inland Empire. I really am. These have been awesome things that we have done for years in the Orange County market. And we are now expanding them. We did one in LA last year. We got another one coming this year in Los Angeles. We've got now the one happening in the Inland Empire, and it's super exciting. So what this is it's an opportunity for us to share with you information and specific to mortgage lending and how we, as your service providers, can help you sell more real estate. So we're going to cover not only lending products, but we're going to have market updates, what's happening with interest rates. And instead of just doing this quick commercial like I'm doing with you right now, this is an opportunity where we're going to be able to dig in deeper and actually give you more information that's going to make you better prepared to have these, high-level conversations with your prospects and with your existing clients. I encourage everybody to come if you can. It's always a lot of fun. A lot of really good information. You get to see me make fun of Ted Learakis, which is very entertaining for a lot of people. And it's also a great opportunity to network with other agents in the area. So we're going to have a lot of agents, both from Keller Williams and not with Keller Williams. And it's just great information, great networking, great entertainment, great everything. So I really hope to see all of you there.
Thank you, Tom. Well said. And please drop your information in the chat if anyone has any scenarios. Again, when he talks about an extensive lineup of products, and I like what you said about the menus, he's not kidding. So he's got a product for a loan for every type of borrower out there, whether you're an extensive investor or a savvy investor or a first-time home buyer. The thing is, in the market that we've come from, a lot of the typical A-paper loans haven't been as useful, whether it be VA or FHA. It hasn't been the product that's going to get your offer accepted. So what they've specialized in is making sure that you are armed to be able to get your offer accepted.
And Brian, if I could just give one more little commercial, if you don't mind.
15 seconds, go.
Great, go. Okay, 15 seconds, here we go. So what we're seeing a lot in the market right now in a rising interest rate environment where prices still have not really started to come down or level out in any way, and inventory is just still at an all-time low, is people have been priced out of the market. A lot of buyers that were sitting on the sidelines, just can't get over that hump at the moment. But what we are seeing is a massive influx of these investors that have been sitting on the sidelines, right? That are ready to come in and they're going to gobble a lot of these properties up. So I'm certain that there's a lot of agents on the call with us today who have clients who are looking to invest in residential real estate. We have a whole product set that is specifically designed for those investors. And the way that this is set up, not only is it best for qualification, easy for qualification, because they're actually business purpose loans, but the tax benefits and all the rest of the nuance for these products is phenomenal. And I will tell you that about 20 to 30% of my pipeline at the moment are these types of transactions. So I'd like to set something up with Brian to where we can, dig in and maybe have a class on that. But this is one of the things that we're going to be talking about at the upcoming roundtable. So thank you all for having me again. Tom Corcoran, solutions-based mortgage banker with United American.
Hey, Tom, can you email us on that? Let's get that on the calendar, shall we? Like an investor.
Yep, I will shoot you an email right now.
Yeah, so hold me accountable because that's something that is something that's key right now for that market. And let's squeeze that into our calendar.
Super important, guys. Super good stuff.
March, May, one of those M months. All right, I appreciate your time. Thank you for all you do. With that too, I wanted to, I don't know where we are in the slides. Sandy, I know you're there. I don't know if you're still there. I wanted to introduce you real quick, our Chief Advisory Officer, our Queen of Compliance, if you will. She's going to take over and share a little bit about some things to look out for. I know you got some time constraints, and yet please let us know what we need to know.
Hi, hello everyone. Good morning. I wanted to give you a compliance tip with regards to the FERPTA. That's the Seller's Affidavit of Non-Foreign Status. That is extremely important because buyers are the ones that are responsible if in fact there is a withholding requirement. And that withholding requirement if the seller is a foreign person. So I want you to pay really careful attention to these forms because again, it's the buyer that's responsible to make sure that that withholding is taking place. So there's two ways that you can do that, but we got to make sure that the form's completed correctly in order to be able to satisfy this requirement. So the actual FERPTA form, which is our CAR form, that is actually has a couple of different sections and I want to bring to your attention. Item number 2 is the seller's information, obviously very straightforward. Item number 3, they have to mark the box if they're exempt. If they're not exempt, then again, the buyer's responsible to make sure that that withholding takes place. And item number 4, this is very important because if you're using the FERPTA form, to give delivery to the buyer on satisfying this requirement, then you have to check item number B, 4B. And then you have to provide all the information in item number 5, which includes the social security number or the TIN if they're an entity. So otherwise, if you just provide this form without marking item 4B, which is basically providing this information direct to the buyer, then you have to provide a QS. So I just want to clarify that because we'll get these FERPTA forms not completed and that does not satisfy the requirement. You then have to provide a QS, which is qualified substitute, which is another CAR form. And if you are providing the qualified substitute, that can be provided and filled out either by the escrow company, the title company, an attorney, or the buyer's brokerage. So I just want to bring that to your attention. And we as the brokerage really want it to be from the escrow, title, or attorney. So I just make sure that those QSs are completed. And the other item to note on this is there's also a California withholding requirement that can apply. And the FERPTA form does go over and explain that as well. So I want you to be aware there's possibly 2 different oh, and here we have the slide. Okay, I don't know if you could see that before, but what I was trying to explain to you that's really extremely important that's getting missed is item number 4. It goes through whether or not you're going to be marking the box where you're providing this directly to the buyer. And if you are, then you have to provide the social security or TIN number and the information that's under item number 5 here. Otherwise, you have to provide the QS form. And the QS form can be provided by escrow or title or the attorney. And the item with regards to if you have an escrow company that is affiliated with a brokerage and they can't provide a QS form, then please try to get it from the title company because we prefer to have the CAR forms used versus escrow forms. If you have to use an escrow form, then please have that signed by your buyer. But otherwise, there are some title companies that do cooperate in providing these FERPTA forms. It would just be a matter of checking with your title company that you're using if they can provide it. If they can, then escrow can provide the 593 that the seller filled out to the title company so that the title company can be the qualified substitute if it's an escrow company that's unable to provide it because they're affiliated with the brokerage. So I hope that helps. I'm going to keep it brief, but again, we have classes I want to invite everybody to our classes at any time during the month. Please look at it. We have disclosure classes, goes through common mistakes made in disclosures and other items. So I look forward to seeing you in class, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Sandy, Queen of Compliance. I appreciate you. And thank you for keeping us up and on the up and up on this, because the game is changing regularly, and we want to ensure that we, have a handle on what's changing here. So thank you for that. So as we go back to our slide, going back here. So make sure you RSVP for this. We're going to send, probably put together an Eventbrite,
Yeah.
and then we'll get that sent out.
Yeah, we'll get that information out to you guys.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this one. So talking about sessions that we can grow from, we've got the Millionaire Real Estate Investor with Jake Ginger. This is going to be June 23rd, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Lunch will be provided, Los Serranos Country Club. So June is going to be our training month. This gentleman is not only a mega agent, millionaire real estate agent, closing a lot of transactions with his team, a top 100 team in Gary Keller's mastermind. He's also a phenomenal investor with a ton of doors. So I think they're at I think anywhere from 50 to 60 doors right now. And he was able to increase his net worth through COVID with one property, I think by 1.5 million. So he's going to talk about how he did that. And so we'll have a link for that as well. Again, bringing content that you would want to participate and utilize for yourself. So I'm excited about this, passionate about this. And by the way, when you register, you can invite any non-KW agent for free. So this will cost. We're going to share this with other market centers. They're going to have to pay to jump in. You're free, and then any non-KW agent that you want to invite as well, as a thank you for having a great transaction, they're free as well. So look out for more details on that. Cool. Are we excited about this?
Yeah.
All right, I'm grateful. Thank you. And obviously, we've got Mega Camp. Stay tuned for that. August 23rd and 24th. Early bird specials are available for Mega Camp. And so stay tuned for that as well. This is going to be big. We're not going to get into March numbers too much. We talked about this a little bit the last month, the last session. And yet, one thing that we did want to share is that in the month of March, profit share is up. So we profit shared $7,100 in the month of March, more than we've ever profit shared in any month of March before. So that's something that we're excited about. And then we're continuing to put things in place that's going to help increase this even more. So it's just a start. And we've already profit shared a third of what we've profit shared all of last year in only 20% of the 25% of the time. So look out for that. And if you haven't started to put this in your presentations yet, this is just a great way for you to just share with your sellers and buyers how your company or you can insert your numbers here, are outpacing the market. So we're going to share with you how to do that. We're going to have sessions on how to do that. So look out for it, on how to look at your numbers, how you're doing over the previous month, previous year, comparing yourself to the market, and how to show that you're ahead of the game. So our intention, our leadership lineup's best and most important thing is to help you be in the best position to win. And so we want to see you win, and we're working to bring resources to help you do that. So with that being said, I think we are going to make another quick little transition here. I'm just looking at where we are. My Zoom skills are pretty good, huh? This is how I buy time. Oh, and we also want to thank our in-house escrow team, Debbie at Tri-Valley, for everything that she's doing, and also her team as well, Notorious Notaries. They're doing a lot of help and work with us to grow and be there for you on your closings as well. So stay tuned for that. We'll have another update there as well. So with that being said, though, we want to get to our guest speaker, Rob Colello, Robert Colello. If you don't know him yet, he's Robert to you, he's Rob to me. And yeah, he's a great friend of mine. I first discovered Rob back in, man, I don't want to age him or anything like this, or age our relationship, but it's maybe 8 to 9 years now back in KW, and he's been the example to me of what it really means to perform at a high level in a consistent manner and grow in any market. And so, whether you've seen him on, local radio show, or you've seen him on stage or in, sessions with Gary Keller, he's been consistent in his messaging, and he's been consistent in his delivery for his clients. And so I respect what he's doing. And I thought, hey, what other better person to talk about where we are currently in the market, talk to seller expectations, buyer expectations, and how you live a purposeful life in doing phenomenal production and still being there for the moments that are most important. So, Rob, you're on mute. I didn't want to have to start this conversation that way, man.
You know what? I'm a loud Italian New Yorker, and I just don't want to talk too loud over you. You're giving me such a nice introduction. I didn't want to step over my applause.
Yeah, there you go, man. So I appreciate you so much, brother. And so, I mean, the stage is yours. I'll jump in because I'm as curious as they come. So what I typically do in these meetings at times is, who would I want to listen to? And I go out and reach out to those folks, and knowing and understanding I've been as aggressive as they come in real estate personally, and being as studied as I am, I'm like, man, I know Rob is doing it. I know he's up to something. So come on, it's your floor. So
You ready?
take it away.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for having me today, Brian. I've known Brian since we were at I think it was a top agent mastermind in Carlsbad.
Yep.
And I saw Brian in the back. We're getting coffee together. We were getting situated before the presenter came on. And I just got to say, I want to give honor where honor's due. Man, Brian is a phenomenal leader. Can we all agree that? He's a coach, he's a mentor, and he's a market leader. And it's been just an honor for me to watch his growth, as he's saying, it's been an honor to watch my growth. I think I've had more fun watching him grow, from being an agent to being a team leader to being an OP. He's going places, and if you're not growing, you're dying. So this guy's growing. He's not letting any weeds grow around him. And I love that. So Brian, I just want to honor you and thank you for the opportunity of speaking. You pretty much, there's other things you can say about me, but you know what? I heard this a long time ago from Jim Rohn. You know what? Nobody cares about how much you know until they know how much you care. So I'm going to jump right in and just deliver value. I don't want to take any time away from any other accolades or anything like that. I just want to jump in and bring value. Is that okay, guys?
Please do. Go for it.
All right. So I'm going to talk about 4 things today. I'm going to talk about the mindset necessary to be a top producer. I'm going to talk about how important is a daily routine. Guys, if you can't control yourself, how are you going to control your outcome? Think about that one. All right. I'm also going to talk about how to set expectations with buyers and sellers to help them get what they want. See, this is the deal. We're the doctors, they're the patients. And a lot of times there's a misconstruedness going on in this market because you got Zillow and Trillo and Redfin, all these people downgrading who we are. Guys, you got to top grade yourself. We're not glorified taxi cab drivers or free tour guides. We're professionals. And if you generate, you don't have to tolerate. And you're bringing people into your world. Better yet, they're bringing you into their world because they respect you and they want results. So you have to set the expectations. Let me ask you this question. If you guys went to get a heart surgery and you told the heart surgeon you wanted him to start by cutting your foot open to get to your heart, how confident would you believe this person was, or competent? See, just think about these things. People want to be led, and we have to lead them. It's not control them, it's help lead them. All right. And then I'm going to leave some room open for questions and answers. I'll have some closing thoughts, but I really want to hear from you guys. If you have any Q&A, if you want to mastermind it, I'm going to leave some time open. Okay. So I'm going to jump right in. The first thing we're going to talk about is the mindset of a top producer. And I wrote down some bullet points. All right. Number 1, you got to be willing to fail. In the Bible, I'm a man of faith. In Psalms 119, 71 to 72, it says, it was good for me to be afflicted. You know why it was good for him to be afflicted? Because David could realize how good God was. It's good for you to be afflicted because you can realize how good your life is. or you can realize how much you've learned from your failure. Guys, failure is the gift wrap of success. It's the gift wrap of success. And I'm going to tell you this, failure is also a wrapping that most people never go through, and it's the repellent of success. And I'm going to unpack that a little bit. When you go to the Christmas tree at Christmas time and you see your kids run to the Christmas tree, and how many people wrap their Christmas gifts underneath there? Well, guys, if your kids ran to the Christmas tree and they weren't willing to open the gifts, are they going to receive what's underneath that gift wrap? And if you think about it, the gift wrap is like centimeters. It's skinny. It's just a skin. The substance is underneath there. But if that held them back every time they went, oh, I don't want to open that bike. Oh, I don't want to open that. There's a Nintendo. There's a bike. There's a new watch. There's that. They would never get to enjoy the success that they were going to have and experience if they were to open it up. That's how failure is. People reach failure and they're afraid to push through. They're afraid to go through it to the other side. And on the other side is success. Matter of fact, I always tell my kids two things. If you ask any one of our children, my wife Aurora, who I've been married to for 22 years this year. That's right, 22 years. I have 4 children from 21 down to 14, 3 boys and a beautiful daughter, Ariana. And we've been telling our kids this for years. Colello's never quit. If you ask any of our kids, Colello's never what? They'll finish your statement. Some of them will roll their eyes. Some of them will have a smile on their face, but it doesn't matter to me. It's in their DNA. They'll never quit. Because I've always told the kids, on the other side of uncomfortability is where all your success is. To the degree you're willing to be uncomfortable, guys, is the degree you're going to be successful. It's just a fact. So if you have a low tolerance for failure rejection, you're going to have a low tolerance for success acceptance. Okay. So make sure you're okay with failing, because if you fail fast forward, you'll find yourself where you want to be quicker than if every time you go to failure, you're like, shoot, you know. And I have 1,000,001 stories around these things, but I want to respect our time. So I have time segmented for each thing I'm going to talk about. Persistence, guys, it's your best friend. Persistence is your best friend. The fortune's in the follow-up. Has anybody heard that? Has anybody heard that? It takes 7 no's on average to equal a yes. Matter of fact, one time I went to the grocery store with my son, Dimitri. The baby was with me, who's now 14 and taller than me, but he was a little guy at the time. And my son, Angelo, was with me. And my wife promised me that I wouldn't give him any treats. She goes, please, they've had enough today. Don't give him any chocolate or anything. Well, Dimitri kept tapping my pant. He said, Papa, I want this. It was a Trader Joe's chocolate bar. I go, Dimitri, you can't have it. He said, I'm driving with the cart. I feel another tap. Papa, I want this. I go, Dimitri. I said, no. A little time goes by. I feel another tap. Homeboy's like knee height. And I'm about to go down and get a little bit more colorful with my voice. And I see the cutest thing. And it was one of my proudest moments. He's about 5 years old and he's going like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Papa said it takes 3 no's to get, or 7 no's to get to. Yes, I got 4 more. He's talking to himself. What am I supposed to do? I got in trouble with my wife that day. He got 7 more no's and I gave him his chocolate because he had been listening to me and the Zig Ziglar and the Jim Rohn and all the stuff we played on the way to school. But you know what? It truly is, guys. On the other side of all that resistance, man, resistance cannot be persistence. Okay. That's going to bring me to my next point. Persistence is your best friend, right? And if you are not willing to do that, man, and you're not used to repetitious boredom, then once again, you don't have a high failure tolerance. Now, I'm not saying you got to fail all the time, guys. I don't fail that much anymore, to be honest with you. And it's not because I'm that great. My gosh, I've been doing this business for 17 years this year. If I'm not getting it by now, my gosh, I better get out, right? So, but in the beginning, there's barrier to entry. You're going to get it, man. And then there's a principle, 80-20. You're going to learn what your zone is. Like, see, Brian said, you know, I've done last year over $40 million in production, and I spend less than $500 a month on any marketing. That's right. I'm completely referral based. I started my career with for sale by owners and expired listings. Matter of fact, the first person ever listed their house was a high-end rental agent in Miami Beach, Florida, where I started my career, who didn't want to pay her brokerage $3,600 to flat list her home. She was making $124,000 a year. She drove a Mercedes, had a townhome, was a single mom doing pretty well. and she listed with me for $18,700. You know, pride's a funny thing. We can talk about that in another call. But the point is, trust me, I didn't get that listing appointment on the first call. I had to keep following up. I had to be persistent, you know, and I had to get used to repetitious boredom. But now fast forward 17 years, man, if you do what you love, you're going to feel like you never worked a day of your life. That's where I'm at right now. You know, I just brought on an amazing director of operations, Rich Gerardi, who's on this call. I have two showing specialists, an assistant. My wife is my right-hand woman. She helps me with business relations and development. We have a transaction coordinator. See, my life looks a lot different than it used to, and it continues to look different because I was able to push through the ceilings of boredom, the ceilings of rejection, and the ceilings of uncomfortability. Because once again, on the other side of all uncomfortabilities, where success is. Guess what, guys? I'm going to reach another ceiling of uncomfortability. And if I want to grow, I got to push through it. It's a lifelong process. But I'm just here to tell you, wherever you are in your journey of real estate, maybe you're a brand new agent and you feel like you're not getting traction. Hey, stick in there. Maybe you've been doing this for a decade and you've just never been more than average. You know, average is the best of the worst and the worst of the best. And I know you don't want to be there. Maybe it's just about your tolerance to success, which is around failure and repetition. Maybe it's about who you're hanging out with, which we'll talk about in a minute. All right. Now, another point here, guys, is keeping your axe sharp. You know, one of my favorite lines ever was from Abraham Lincoln. He said, Guy, if I had 6 hours to cut down a tree, I spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. How many of you guys are sharpening your axe? How many of you guys are role playing? How many of you guys are staying accountable? How many of you guys are doing what you need to do when you need to do it? So Zig Ziglar said this: if you will do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it, there'll come a time when you can do anything you want to do when you want to do it. See, there's a trade-off, guys. Part of that is, I don't think Abraham Lincoln really enjoyed sharpening the axe for 4 hours, repetitious boredom, but he did it. Why did he do it? So he was like Slick Willie, going right through the trees. Matter of fact, if you go on YouTube, there's a great video on this where there's this big lumberjack and he's against this older guy and he's killing him in the beginning, going through four trees. But you know what? By tree 2, he was done. He never took the time to sharpen his axe. This guy was sharpening it after almost every so many strokes. He ended up beating this guy. Okay. That's how you can do it in this market too. Remember, we're in a race. We're in the Navy. Keep a 20-year mind view. Don't let today's situation determine the future, good or bad. My dad said this a long time ago. We are just like artists as salesmen. Okay. And you are a salesman and saleswoman. Don't mistake what you do. Don't say you're a real estate consultant, all this stuff. No, you are a salesperson, high paid, ready to do what needs to be done, getting results for people on a daily basis. That's how you need to think about things. And that's what people will hire and pay a lot of money for. But he said, Robert, if you admire your work too long after you make a sale, you're just like an artist admiring their work too long after they have a commission piece of art that's sold. Guess what? You will go broke. Because once the money comes in, the bills come in, eventually the bills will outweigh the money, right? So we got to keep moving on. We got to keep moving on. One of the last points here is be coachable. I want you guys to be coachable. We all have to be coachable, okay? This is the deal. All greats have a coach. I have several coaches. I know Brian has a coach.
I got 2.
I know that Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods have several coaches. We got to be coachable. The Bible says this: surround yourself around wise counsel. If you read the book of Proverbs, man, there's so much business sense in there. It's ridiculous. It says a fool will perish because the pride comes before the fall, but a wise man will seek wise counsel. Never be too big for your britches. I can tell you that about Brian. Brian's seeking people. I can tell you that about myself. I seek people because I heard this a long time ago from Tony Robbins. You're going to get further on the shoulder of a giant than you will yourself. So like I told you, I've hit ceilings and I will continue to hit ceilings. That's called growth and progress. When I hit the next ceiling, I sure as hell won't try to figure it out myself. I'm going to find someone that's already where I want to be and I'm going to get there. Matter of fact, when I first got in this business, I didn't hang out with anybody that wasn't producing 10 times as much as I was. I didn't talk to anybody at the watering hole. I stood in my office and got down to it. I went to events and I only found people that were multimillionaires because I wanted to be a multimillionaire. How's a guy making 70, 100 grand a year going to teach me how to be a multimillionaire? He or she is not. Therefore, me, I'm not going to get any benefit from that relationship. And I had that mindset from day one when I had sold 0 homes. I want to get to where I want to go. I never forget. I was 21 years old, bought my first Tony Robbins CDs. And he said, you want to get further, you need to imitate people. Well, I'm not going to imitate someone that is not where I want to be. So make sure you're imitating people. And then do this. When you get to where you want to go, make sure you turn around and you put your hand down. You help pick someone else up, because you're somewhere where someone else wants to be. Make sure you're helping get someone else where they want to be. All right. Now we're going to move on to the second point here, and you guys can ask questions at the end. The second point is, how important is a daily routine? I have 3 quotes that I love that I thought about this. Number 1, Og Mandino. He says, I never go into the battle. I never go into the day without a battle plan. Guys, a routine is very important. Warren Buffett said this: chain of habits are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. That's your routine, guys. And last thing here, Jim Rohn said this, and this really will either haunt you, motivate you, or put you in check. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. You know, the discipline to wake up in the morning when you don't want to wake up, to go for that walk, that run, hit the gym. The discipline to get on the phone to talk to people that you might be uncomfortable about. The discipline around living a life that's worth living. You know what? It can be uncomfortable at times, but the regret when you look back is going to weigh way more and be way heavier. Matter of fact, I surround myself only around the best. I take the Kinko's approach to my business, and I tell my clients that. I say, listen, I get paid to sell, not spell. I will dot every T and cross every I, so you don't want me handling paperwork. And I have the elitist of elite around me. Matter of fact, that's why I hired Richard Garardi. And he sent me something on Saturday morning at 6:30 in the morning. And he said, Robert, he had a beautiful picture from his deck in downtown San Diego, beautiful sunrise. He said, Robert, one day your life's going to flash in front of your eyes, and you're going to look back at it. Make sure that it was worth looking at. Guys, isn't that powerful? That's the truth. That is the truth. One day we're going to look back, and the deal's this: I'm going to go see God one day, and I want to make sure that he says, good job, faithful servant, you know, and I know that he has an idea of who he wants me to be, and he gives me free will to be who I want to be. And I'm just hoping one day, like I heard Ed Milet say in Las Vegas when I went out there for a seminar one time, he said, I'm hoping when I see my maker, I see the person I was supposed to be, and I'm looking at an identical twin. Okay, guys? So you know what? We want to be as close to who God has us to be. That's my goal in life. All right. Now, number 1, and how important it is to have our daily routine. You got to have a schedule and you got to stick to it. Okay. Repetitious boredom. This comes to the repetitious boredom. Listen, I check in with my assistant at 8:30. I check in with my director of operations at 9 o'clock. I then get on the phone from 9:30 to 12:30. Now that I have a new director of operations, I have to check back in with him around 11:30. Once he's up and running, I'll be checking in with him in the afternoon. I have then a check-in call at 3 o'clock. When I tell my clients when they hire me on, between Monday and Thursday, you're never going to get a hold of me. You're going to get a hold of my talent. I don't have staff. I have talented people in positions that are more talented than me. So we can take my talent, their talent, put it together and give you a great result. So you don't want to talk to me. If it's not sales related, negotiated related, then you don't want to talk to me. But if you do need to talk to me, just tell my assistant in the morning time, because you're never going to get a hold of me between 9:30 and 12:30. And I ask them, you know why? And they're like, why? Because I'm out there looking for buyers for my homes and homes for my buyers. That's what you've hired me to do, isn't it? And they're like, yeah, I got a time block. I got to guard myself to give you the results, because if I'm at free will of everybody that calls me, including yourself, you're not going to get what you want, because I'm running a haphazard business. But if you do find yourself in a situation where you feel like you do have to talk to me and it's not Friday, because on Friday I have to give them the update calls, well, then just tell my assistant, she'll put you in my schedule between 2 and 3:30. See, now I've given my client a peace of mind. I've set a standard. And if they really need to talk to me, they can talk to me. But I'm not being controlled by that, because the truth is, man, if I did that, I'm too busy. I'm literally not going to get, I'm going to be too busy getting pulled by everybody's direction to give anybody with the results they want. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah. Rob, I'm with you. So I'm writing down questions, because we're going to get into this in a little bit, man.
Oh yeah, man. So have a schedule, man. So I do my phone calls in the morning. I did that religiously. For new agents, you got to role play in the morning. You got to have an affirmation partner. You got to get out of bed. Like I like to get out of bed. I sit in my chair in my corner. I read my Bible. I do a devotion. I then read out of As a Man Thinketh, a cool mindset thing. I want to eat breakfast. I want to work out. Me and my wife work out in the morning, go for a walk. Right now I'm doing 75 hard and I got to fit in 2 45-minute workouts a day. I get to, it's awesome. I'm sharpening the axe, guys. I'm sharpening the axe mentally, physically, spiritually, so I can take on the day and slay the day. I don't want to be a slave to the day. So then you're going to want to make sure that you've done these routine. You've done your most important thing first. Communicate with the people that are going to help delegate information out there. That for me, it's my team, my director of operations, my assistant. Then you want to take care of calling your clients, doing lead follow-up, calling the database, making sure you're pruning the garden. And then make sure you take care of yourself. I have between 12:30 and 2 lunch and personal time. Personal time is if I got to look at a bill, I got to talk to my wife about plans or something, you know what? It's there. Then after that, between 2 to 3, I'm doing administrative stuff. If I have appointments, I do appointments between 3:30 and 4 and 5 o'clock. And guess what, guys? Another thing is I had my best year last year. And for a year, I have not met with any clients on Mondays or Fridays. Last year, if you look at my schedule, and I'm not lying, you could look, I might have met with 2 people on either a Friday or a Monday. See, this is the deal. I made a decision that, hey, what's more important? For me to feel frazzled on a Monday when I'm running in after the week and my showing special been showing buyers and we have offers to write and all this stuff, or me to be grounded, do my meetings, do my marketing meeting with my digital marketing person, talk to my assistants, do strategic stuff, or do I need to run off to an appointment, right? For a paycheck. No, I'm looking for dividends. I'm looking to create a business that's going to keep duplicating itself. So I got to give myself time and space. Matter of fact, with Richard on the team, I'm looking to give myself an hour to 2 hours a day to think, to plan, to vision, to execute. See, as you become, as your business maturity will grow, so your schedule will change. That's what's happened to me. I'm getting more mature in my business. So I don't meet with people on Mondays and Fridays. I remember when I first listened to my first telephone prospecting CD from Matt Ferry and Tom Ferry. They talked about how they had clients that work 4 days a week. They didn't work on weekends. And I'm like, damn, I like that. Well, now I find myself in that position. Okay. But it's because repetitious boredom, I stuck to a schedule and I was disciplined. Now I'm able to do that. So Mondays and Fridays, I don't meet with clients. And I still have been one of the number one agents in one of the number one offices in Southern California for many years. I've been rated as high as 30th in North America for Keller Williams and so on and so forth. And I say none of that to impress you, but to impress upon you, listen, success doesn't need to be a ball and chain. It needs to be the right thing for you. You got me? And the way you're going to do that is if it's not in your schedule, a bold law says it doesn't exist. Make sure that you're putting what's important in your schedule so you can always take care of what's important. And I'm not perfect on my schedule. You can ask my wife that one, but you know what? Your schedule is like a roadmap for success. And when things get messy, it brings you back. All right. Last thing in this section, and I'm a minute and a half ahead. So I went over on the last section, but I'm on time, baby. Leave that time for the end. Guard your time. Guard your time. I told you about the schedule. Now you got to fight that time. Listen, you and Gary Keller, you and Tony Robbins, me, you, everybody in this world, whoever that person is, we all got the same time in the day. It depends how you manage your time, how you guard your time. You know what? Everybody around me knows I don't want to be distracted during this time. When I'm making my calls in the morning, there's not anything that's going to happen that I can't wait until after 12. If a listing's burning down, if it's past the roof line, well, guess what? We gotta help them buy another house because that house is gone. We'll help them with an insurance claim, help them. But I need to stay in my zone, in my lane, because people are counting on me. And guess what? They're counting on you too. You can't do that if you're all over the place. All right. We're going to move on to the next thing here. Setting expectations. Setting expectations. Okay. So we're going to talk about how to set expectations for buyers and how to set expectations for sellers. First, always tell the truth in advance to buyers and sellers. It's called future pacing in NLP. You tell someone something that's going to happen in advance before it happens. Okay. This way, they know what's going on. And guess what? If they sign a contract with you and you set the table like I don't talk to people, I tell my clients, I do not talk to people between Monday and Thursday. Cool. If you want to talk to me, this is the time frame. I set expectations. I tell them all this up front. I don't get them to sign a contract and then start telling them what I'm going to do or not do. It's either you're going to participate or not. Either you're one of my 7 characteristics of a perfect client, which one respects me, believes that I'm going to bring value, happy to refer me somebody, will honor my schedule, and so on and so forth. If they're not, then it's a real easy lens. Hey, if they're going to be this much trouble up front when they're hiring the surgeon who's successful, diligent, caring, and gets the job done, and they want to bug him every time he's in surgery, guess what? I'm not going to let you bug me when I'm in surgery with someone else, because I would never let anybody bug me when I'm in surgery with you. Make sense? So you set the expectation up front. And when they sign a contract, which I do not deal with the buyer unless they sign a buyer's representation contract. Once again, my showing specialist, listen, they're not unpaid salespeople or unpaid tour guides or free taxi cab drivers. When it comes to listings, I'm not a free interior decorator. I'm not coming over to tell you your paint looks good or bad, right? I'm going to tell you what we need to change to get things going. I've had this kind of mindset from day one. Used to drive my wife nuts. We're starving. We need money. And I'm telling buyers when they're calling on my listings, we need to meet in the office, do a buyer's consultation. And they're like, no. I'm like, well, then I guess we're not meeting. What do you mean? And my wife would be looking at me on the other side. What do you mean? She soon understood, like, okay, I get it. I'm like, honey, this is the deal. If I meet with people that don't respect me, they're not respecting you and the family. They're not respecting our time. They're going to waste our time. We're not going to build any foundation on anything but concrete. Sand's not going to provide us a stable foundation. So we're going to strategically put the right people so we can build the right business. Does that make sense, guys? So always tell them the truth in advance. If they don't sign a BRE, they're not for me. The thing is, we've been the number one buying team and the number one Keller Williams, one of the offices in the last, for almost a decade, dude. Like literally in San Diego County, I don't know what it's like up there. It's the average agent is writing 16 offers to get one accepted. The biggest problem my clients are having is they're getting 3 to 4 offers accepted on properties, and they have to pick which property they want. For every 8 offers or 10 offers we write, we get 8 accepted. See, this is my belief. If you generate, you don't have to tolerate. So you don't sign with me, that's okay. There's a bunch of other agents who waste their time. Good news for me and my team is 9 out of 10 people sign a contract with me, buyers and listings. Okay. Now you need to set expectations with your buyers at the buyer's representation meeting, guys. Now we have the luxury of doing it on Zoom like this, or you can meet them in person, but have a meeting, preferably in person, because you can control, especially if it's a new person. But either way, have it. And you need to tell them, we're waiving appraisal. Just telling you flat out, homes, you put an appraisal on there, you're not getting it. Also tell them what I tell my clients, this property is going to probably appraise for 20 to 50 grand under what you wrote an offer for. Just be prepared. And don't worry though, because what you're doing is you're simply just buying appreciation in advance. The good news is you're not paying any interest on that. Then the better news is it's going to be safeguarded in your equity, right? Just tell them. If they can't play by the rules of engagement in the marketplace, forget about your standards. Does the market not have standards right now, guys?
Oh, for sure.
So if you can't tell them the standards up front, then you're just setting them up to fail in the end, and you're just wasting your time. And gas is expensive now. You're wasting a lot of stuff, right? And if you have a team, how pissed off, excuse my language, is your showing specialist, a buyer's specialist going to be if they have people that aren't trained, people that aren't willing to follow the agenda, right? It's just going to be a waste of everybody's time. So just let them know that up front, that they're going to be waiving their inspection, their appraisal. And they might even have to, I'm waiving loan contingencies and appraisals. I have my buyers fully underwritten right off the bat. And then I do an inspection contingency, and we can get everything done within the inspection contingency if we have to back out. See, you gotta help your buyers position themselves to look the best. We're closing escrows in about 15 days, on paper, 15 to 20 days. So let them know that, hey, this is what's going on. And guys, you're also going to have to give the seller, because they need somewhere to move just like you do. They're going to need to stay there for 59 days for free. I just tell them it all up front. You know what? And guys, don't worry about that, because the first month's kind of free. It's part of your closing costs. You're not even going to feel it. The second month you will feel. You'll be double paying wherever you are. But once again, once you lock your appreciation in, then you get off the staircase of appreciation. And it's all a matter of when you want to get off. If you want to be aggressive and do what it takes to get your offer accepted, you're going to get off right here, and you're not going to have to go up here 100 grand higher. And if you get off right here, and so what if you pay $5,000 for someone's mortgage? Who cares? Guess what? You just made $25,000 this month. And hey, I don't have a glass ball. The whole market can collapse tomorrow, but I know this. real estate's not about timing the market. It's about time in the market. And if we've done our job, which we do, we get you with a good lender, we put you in an appropriate loan program, we get you in a home you can afford, not one that's your house poor, then the cycles go up. What goes up comes down, and what goes down comes back up. We've seen this time and time again. Real estate is the best investment that someone can make, right? So you set this table, then you ask them to sign a contract, right? And if they sign a contract, then they know what they need to do to engage with you, and it's not going to be a surprise. What would be a surprise is if you get out there and you tell them, we got to go 50 grand over asking price. What? Oh yeah. And the home's probably not going to appraise. What? No, I tell my clients, you're going to have to go 25 to 100 grand over asking price. And once again, the home's not going to appraise. And if it does appraise, hey, God bless you. If it doesn't appraise, I told you so. Either way, we're going to make sure that if you're approved for 900,000, we're not looking at 900,000. We're looking at homes between 8 and 850 and lower, because we need to have enough gunpowder in our reserves to be able to hit the target. Fair enough? So I could talk about that like all day long. You know, I take people through a buyer's consultation. It goes between an hour to an hour and a half. And I'm telling you guys, if you don't set the table well, when the little fork comes out, they're not going to know that's for escargot. They're going to be like, how the heck do I eat a salad with this? How do I eat my steak with this? You don't eat your steak with this, right? Why do I have 2 spoons? Well, one's for your soup and one's for dessert. Why do I have 2 forks? Because one's for your salad and one's for your entree. You know, if you don't let them know this stuff, when they sit down, they're not going to understand how things work. But if you tell them this, then they're going to have a nice experience. Think about it. If you go to a really nice 5-star restaurant, the person that's uncomfortable has just never been exposed to the environment. They don't know the rules of engagement, because really it's just about forks and knives, you know, sizes, the intervals of food coming to you. And that's really it. When a thing ends and when a thing begins, and the order of operation, once you get accustomed to it and you've gone to a few, then you're not like a fish out of water anymore. So help your clients be able to have a nice 5-star experience that you're going to give them, and only you can give them. Like Smokey the Bear says, only you can stop a fire. Only you can. This is the same with real estate. Only you can stop a fire of having a bad burning buyer. You can give them that great experience by letting them know the rules of engagement. All right. Now, with the expectation of sellers, okay, I would say this, man, you got to tell them 2 things. We're in a beauty contest and a price war. Even in this market, ugly is still ugly and overpriced is still overpriced. Okay. I tell my sellers that every time. If you're trying to get top dollar and you're ugly, you ain't getting it. It just happened. It's just going to happen. And if you're overpriced, you're expressing to the marketplace that you're unmotivated or out of touch with reality. You can never give a home away. You can never underprice a property. You can overprice a property in any single market. So you need to tell them, like, listen, we're going to do the 5 Ps of listing a property. Most agents do 3 Ps. They put a sign in the yard. They put a lockbox on the door. They put you in the MLS and they pray that you're going to get sold. Well, as many of you guys can figure out by now, I'm a Christian. I pray. I pray for all my clients. I pray all the time. I tell them. And I'm going to also put a lockbox in your door. We're going to put it in the MLS, but I'm going to proactively prospect and I'm going to price watch. Meaning, hey, if we hit the mark wrong, then we need to make adjustments. It's just a course correction. It's totally normal. Tell them this stuff up front. So when it happens, they don't get shocked. I tell my sellers, we're going to know within the first 7 to 14 days if we're out of whack with the price. In this market, we're going to know in 5 days. So if you're not getting the kind of offers we're hoping, we're going to need to make some course corrections. Let's see here. Oh, and I tell sellers this too. There's a bunch of things I could spend 2 hours talking about sellers. I am not discussing offers with you as they come in. It's a waste of time. I respect you too much to do that. Can I explain? Yeah, what do you mean? Well, if you want me to call you every time we have an offer and spend 10 to 20 minutes talking about it, in this climate, when I'm getting 5 to 25 offers and the highest can become the lowest and the lowest can become the highest, why would I waste your time like that? There's nothing to talk about until I counteroffer everything. Matter of fact, guys, you know, I can talk to you about, hey, how I set expectations on a different time with buyers, how I get them in escrow in 4 to 14 days. I can also talk to you in a different time of how I sell homes on an average of 6 days. I list homes on a Thursday and I don't talk to my sellers on Wednesday. And I don't involve them in the counteroffers ever. Matter of fact, I talk to my sellers when I list their home and I usually don't talk to them again until the Thursday when we have our launch call and it goes live. It could be a month or 2. I have my assistants do that, and I do not talk to them until Wednesday after we put it on the market, and I have countered the offers. We have a set time between 3:30 and 4:30. It's called offer review day. Today I have one with Mark Burns. I'm going to be sitting with him talking. And guess what? I tell him up front at the listing appointment, I'm not calling you. I won't be calling you over the weekend. My assistant will call you Monday to let you know how things went. She'll send you an in-writing update on how all the showings went over the weekend. See, I'm setting the expectation. If you set it up front, they expect it. If you don't set it up front, they get disappointed. Fair enough?
Yep, absolutely.
And your clients only know what you tell them. They only do this every 3 to 7 years. If you're the professional, they know what you tell them. And if they sign with you, they respect you. Now, these are my closing thoughts. I want to move on to closing thoughts so we can leave time for questions, okay? I'm gonna leave you with 4 of some of my favorite quotes. The first one's from Zig Ziglar, and he said this, guys: failure is an event. It's not a person. Okay. Don't let one person's opinion of you guys determine your financial future of you and your family, guys. And the most important person that you can never, ever let them, when they're negative, influence you, their opinion, you know what that is? It's you. It's you. You can't allow it. You got to move on. Every day, it says in the Bible, every day is new. You got to just take, hey, listen, tomorrow's a new day. Yesterday might have been a crap show. Today's a new day. Okay. And you learn from it. Hey, guys, I love learning so much that when my family bought me, they knew I wear a green iWatch because every time I see it, it means grow, baby. Hey, listen, I have a Breitling. I got a Rolex. But guess what? Those are great watches. But this watch here, I got Raymond. I got a bunch of watches. This one is the most powerful watch, even more than my Rolex or Breitling. When I look at this, I'm like, it's time to grow. Green. And growth is through failure. Like I said, that is one of the biggest fertilizers that you're going to ever have, is that seed of failure. Think about it. How did the Indians used to germinate the soil so well back in the day? They used to stick the seed inside of a dead fish. That fish is failed. It's done. Its life's over. But through the life springs abundance. It springs abundance, guys. Now, Les Brown. Les Brown said, I love what he said. God, I listened to this audio, this YouTube thing. I sent it to my ops guy the other day, and I listen to it every day when I'm working out. And a little quote from it, he said, God did not put a dream in your heart that he did not equip you to fulfill. Now, he also said in the Bible, in this world, you will have struggles, but be of good cheer. Like, he didn't say you might, you're going to have them. It's just a point of life. You know what I mean? He also said that, hey, listen, give me all your cares, cast all your fears onto me. And once you do that, I'll give you the peace to pass understanding that will guard your heart and your mind. Most people stop at that verse, but they miss the fruit of what that gives you. When you have a sound mind, a sound heart, he says, then you could look up and see everything that's praiseworthy, everything that's beautiful, everything that I've given you, from your family to, man, we live in Southern California, guys. How blessed are we? It's beautiful. I'm from Syracuse, New York. It snows all the time there. It's great. Man, this place is beautiful. And when you can get an attitude of gratitude, man, I'm telling you, things will open up for you. Because listen, we had 2 floods in my house recently. One a week before we're leaving for a week in Riviera Maya, Tulum area. And then guess what? Right when we're leaving at 2 o'clock in the freaking morning or 1 o'clock in the morning, I have a driver picking up my wife, my 2 kids and me to go to the airport to fly out to the west coast of Mexico. And I hear pitter patter. My second unit AC in the attic was dripping through the drywall. You know what I said? I'm not missing the vacation. I got good people around me that support me. I'm going to have my restoration come. But you know what? That's obstacles, guys. That's just what happens in life. But it's your mindset and you persevere. And guess what? Like my dad always told me, every objection is just an unanswered question. And every problem in life is just an unanswered solution. That's just you change the way you look at things, and the way the things you look at will change, guys. I think we've heard that with the bold law. Now, Norman Vincent Peale said something. I wrote this down 15 years ago. Okay. I read his book. I would highly recommend it. This is the trilogy. It's called, they have the 3 books, The Power of Positive Thinking, The Positive Principle of Today, and Enthusiasm Makes a Difference, guys. And man, we know Tony Robbins says emotion creates emotion, man. He said here, Your mind always tries to complete what it pictures. So always picture success. Guys, I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how good it is. Always picture success. Remember what Les Brown said. You're not made to think of things you can't achieve. You might not be able to do them by yourself, but you know what? I heard this a long time ago. You can go fast alone or you can go further together. That's why I brought Richard G on my team. I brought Laura on my team. I brought my showing specialist on my team, and I'll continue to bring people on my team so we can create a world truly where everybody can get what they want. And we create a place that is great to work. And that at the end of the day, I'm a visionary. I got my integrator now, and we're going to be like rocket fuel. We're going to be zooming to the next location, but I can't do that by myself. And the last quote I'm going to leave you with, my wife says it's my quote because I'm dyslexic, by the way. And I often will misquote things because the way I heard it and remembered it. So she says it's your quote. I know I read it somewhere, but it says this: on the doorstep of victory bleaches the countless bones of those that waited to rest and in resting died. Guys, the doorstep of victory. Don't leave before the miracle happens in your career, guys. Do not leave before the miracle happens. You might have to course correct. You might have to make adjustments along the way. You might not. You will have to. This is the deal. If I look back at where my life was 15, 17 years ago, and I look where it is today, it was all worth it. It was harder than I thought it would be, and it took me more time than I thought it would take, but gosh, it was worth it. So don't give up on yourself. Don't leave before the miracle happens. The victory belongs to those that believe in themselves. So you got to ask yourself every day, if your attitude sucks, do I believe in myself or not? You know what, guys? I have quotes all around me. I love this one here too. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you've always imagined. All right, guys. I'm done. I'm open for questions and answers. I hope this provided value for you guys, and I'm looking forward to speaking with Brian. And look at that. Bam. 5 seconds to go.
Hey, Rob, can we give him a round of applause? You can turn the mic on and just give him a round of applause real quick. Hey, everybody on Zoom, unmute yourself. Show him some love. I want you to throw some ahas in the chat. Let's fill up the chat with some ahas, some key takeaways. I've got a ton. I've been writing. And you said so many great things. We could spend about, a day unpacking this. You know, what was funny? I was like, man, this guy just gave a highlight of win with sellers, win with buyers, 6 personal perspectives, and a few other courses in about, 45 minutes or so. And the thing that I want us to understand is that this has been a journey, right, for you, Rob. This has not been just a show up or end destination. This has been you personally developing yourself, and your career has been an example of development. So one thing I took away, and then as you're throwing your ahas in the chat, and I want to get a few in the room here, is when you put enough into yourself, right, you start to see externally the fruits of your labor, right, and developing yourself. So it all starts with your personal development.
Hey, Brian, can I say something about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Zig Ziglar said something a long time ago that I never forget. He said, your mind's like a bank account. Okay. This is the deal. You're the only one that can deposit anything in your bank account, right? I know there's a lot of people that withdraw from my bank every month, like the electric company, the phone company, so on and so forth. But I don't see too many people putting deposits in my account just for no reason. But I see the withdrawals. So this is the deal. Life is like that. You're responsible for what you put in your head every day, because you want to make sure that when life will do a withdrawal, and sometimes they're small and sometimes they're big, you do not overdraft, because that's a bad place to be. I remember one time going showing property, and the showing went like hell. The mom showed up of this lady who was an FBI agent, and she was a very strong lady. But once her mom showed up, man, she turned to be a 6-year-old. I'm like, what the hell? Where did my Karen go, man? You're like strong, and now your mom shows up and you're like 3 years old. So that showing got out of whack. Matter of fact, hey, agents are afraid to door knock. Her mom left the showing, went and door knocked the neighbor's tax because they thought it was a good neighborhood. She found one neighbor, and she found a neighbor and said, yeah, even this neighbor over here is moving to Idaho. So when she left, I figured, hey, at least maybe there's a listing opportunity. I go to the listing, and sure enough, I knew who the owner was. It was a friend of mine's father-in-law. I said, hey, Ken, I heard you're moving. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna list with Chris Heller. I go, hey, listen, I would love an opportunity. Ken, we know each other. Nope, I'm listening with Chris. Monica came over here and blah, blah, blah. I go, listen, I love an opportunity. He kept pushing me down, real strong guy. I left deflated. I get in my car. I'm driving back to the office. Now, this is right after I went through bankruptcy in 08. I'm going to the office and I'm honeymooning at another office because I couldn't afford gas to go to my real office. But the manager of that office liked that I was the only person in the office that actually got on the phone. He let me take over the conference room every day because he said it was motivating his salespeople to do what they need to do because they heard me on the phone doing appointments all day. So I'm getting into the underground parking, and I never forget, I used to have this Jaguar, and the shadow hit my Cougar on the front of the Jaguar, right? Or the Jaguar hits it, and it starts coming towards me. And I just felt like I just let this guy put me in my place. And man, I was feeling deflated. And I heard that quote from Zig Ziglar. And the quote was, timid salespeople have skinny kids. And you know what I said? I said, F that. I yelled out loud, F that. My kids will only be skinny because they're athletic. I turned that car around, went back to that appointment. I was like, Les Brown, man, if you guys don't know Les Brown, you got to listen to him. I went over there just like he went to the owner of the radio station. Like I never saw this guy before. And I said, hey, Ken, how are you doing? He goes, Robert, I already told you. I go, no, I know what you're going to say, Ken. I go, but I got thinking, Ken, you want every agent that knows about homes in your area to know about your home in intricate detail. So if they have a buyer, they'll bring them over and get you the highest offer. Don't you? He goes, absolutely. I go, well, Ken, obviously, you know that I bring buyers in the neighborhood because that's how I knew you were going to sell, because my buyer was looking at your next door neighbor's home, right? He goes, you're right. So can I get a tour of your home? He said, sure. An hour and a half later, I set an appointment. But guess what? It wasn't over, guys. I had to do lead follow-up for a month. I called Ken up one day and I said, Ken, hey, are you ready? And I've called him a bunch of times and he says, Robert, I'm busy. The moving truck's coming. And it's going to be packed up on Friday. I go, what do you mean? Ken, you promised. He goes, no, Monica's going to list. And I go, Ken, are you a man of your word? He goes, yeah. I go, I know you are. So you promised me you're going to interview me, didn't you? He goes, yes, I did. I go, are you going to stick to your word? He goes, yes, I am. You need to get here Wednesday or I'm going to list with Monica on Thursday. I go, I'll be there. I went there. I listed his property. I had a commission check, $21,750. It put food on my table for a little while. It put oxygen in the tank of business. And you know what? Ken's card went on the window in my prospecting area for many years, because every time I was met with rejection, I looked to the right and I said, no, persistence will beat any resistance. So guys, it's very important that you're putting the good stuff in your head, because when life will do a withdrawal, which it will, you want to make sure you got something to fall on.
I love that. And you mentioned withdrawals, right? People can also withdraw from your tank as well. Not only of moments or situations, people can also do that. So I've got a ton of notes here, Rob, and for the sake of time, one thing that I just wanted to share is, just to recoup it, was just number one was your energy management, right? What you put in your tank. And then number two what was it around generate and tolerate? I got it written down here. I got so many notes that I'm missing it.
If you generate, you don't have to tolerate.
If you generate, you don't have to tolerate. I think that was one of the biggest nuggets of the overall conversation today, is if you generate, you don't have to tolerate. A lot of us work with clients that we don't want to work with because we feel like we have to, because we have no choice. And the simple act of making sure that we create enough time in our schedules to read and go outbound only, go reach out to our SOI, reach out to our database. That's what has kept you to be able to be nearly 100% repeat and referral business.
Yeah, Brian, it all started from what you started this call with, call days. I wrote it on my desk here. Call days. It reminds me, I heard a long time ago, smile, dial, and make a pile. Yeah. You got to be out there.
So Rob, when you were or newer, when you didn't have your team, what were some, just a couple quick strategies that you implemented that helped you be able to have this same type of approach, or did you the same type of approach of being able to set the same or similar type of expectations with your clients? Meaning, I don't have the team, I don't have this. However, I'll talk to you every Thursday and then follow up. That's something that I did when I was listing. Was as soon as I took a listing, I told them in an appointment, hey, I'll talk to you every Thursday afternoon with your update. And
so this is what I would tell you there. This whole thing's evolved. First of all, you don't know what you don't know. So early on, you're going to make a ton of mistakes. So you need to get scripted. You need to get coached. you need to ask those that are ahead of you how they do things. Number two, I'm always asking myself, and as I've gotten my business maturity up, what is it that I don't like about my current business? What is it that I don't like? What is causing me resistance or whatever, right? And then I'm like, you know what? Why am I talking to sellers every time an offer comes in? Okay, we're going to get rid of that. So as you start seeing things that you feel like are ineffective and inefficient, take them off your plate, delegate them, or get rid of them. See, when you look at your day, there's 3 Ds. You look at your bucket. There's the delegate, there's the do, or there's the delegate, delete, and then the last thing you should be saying to yourself is the do. You're the last person that should be doing something, even when you don't have a team. So do I delegate this to my TC? Do I delegate this to my title rep? Do I delegate this to whoever you can delegate to?
Lender.
To your lender? Do I delete this or do I do it? So as you start building up, you're obviously going to have a bigger bench, to be able to go into and do that with.
So real quick, Rob, one thing that you've said overall is that I've taken, and just to summarize, success is number one, it's relative. You get to create what your picture of success looks like. Number two, it's chaotic, meaning we've got to be at peace with not only the repetitious boredom, meaning it's boring to do the same thing every day. It's boring to eat the same thing nearly every day. However, it's not about that process, is about the outcome that we're going for. So whether it be, I'm eating the same, meal, right? Veggies taste like cardboard, or whatever type of meal that you're eating because of a dietary, goal that you've got. It's not about that moment. It's also about where you're going with that and why you're doing it. And so to this point, us being in the repetition, being okay with the repetitious boarding and practicing our objections. And by the way, we're going back into a market that is going to require ourselves to increase our skill level. The way that interest rates are moving, it's vitally important for us to make sure that we're rehearsed and we're practiced to what we're saying to people, how we're saying it, and why we're saying it, because we've had the wind in our sails for years. Right?
Well, it's like Gary Keller.
Our back for years.
Brian, when Gary Keller interviewed me at Mega Camp, he said, we're talking about scripting and stuff. And I was blessed to be one of the presenters or main interviews. And he said, he was commenting on how I'm scripted and how I know my stuff. And he's like, listen, everything we do is words. Everything we do is words. You can't make people do things, but you can help them make better informed decisions by how you present and how you talk, So Brian's right. The market will shift. And when it shifts, you'll never know. So just make sure you don't rest on your laurels.
You won't know until it's too late.
Yeah.
Right. Until you find out, you look up and you're like, man, I don't have any buyers or sellers right now to work with. Your buyers may have been priced out because of rates, appreciation. Your sellers may have decided to make a change because of inflation and what's going on in the marketplace. If we don't generate, one more time, Rob.
If you generate, you don't have to tolerate. And guys, think about the market I came into. I started my business in Miami Beach in October 30th, the day before Halloween in 2005. Miami was one of the first markets in the United States to crash. Every single month, the inventory was doubling, right? For my first 3 months, I closed 11 transactions in my first 90 days. They said it would take 9 months. And my first sale was a licensed real estate agent's house, So the deal of this is, my favorite quote in the whole world by Albert Einstein: beliefs are more important than facts. Don't worry about what's going on with the marketplace. Worry about what's going on with your marketplace. It all begins and ends here between the 6 or 12 inches between your ears. So you got to make sure you got the good stuff or the bad stuff out. And that's where it goes, man.
Rob, your time is money, and I appreciate your time. And thank you for what you've done and what you've shared with us. Anyone want to share one quick little? I know our time is going. So Rob, thank you as always. Appreciate you. Love you, brother.
Absolutely.
And anything I can do to help, let us know. And by the way, Rob, if you want to throw your information real quick in the chat, or your team, he's your Southern California, he's your San Diego go-to. And so where specifically are you in San Diego?
So we cover from the border of Mexico up to South Riverside.
There you go. All
so
right.
you can reach me at 858-829-4069. And to make it real simple for you, you can email me at robert@robertsold.com. That's, as when you list your home, you're as good as sold.
All right. All right, Rob, always a pleasure. Let's give him a hand. Let's unmute yourself. Show him some love.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Well, Always. Hey,
Thank
we're not
you.
done yet. We want to also give major thanks and gratitude to our in-house team here, Pillar to Post. Joseph Lang, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
All right. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Good, good, good. So,
Very good.
hey, what do you got for us other than lunch?
Yeah, just wanted to, first of all, thank you. You know, as you round up taxes, you look at your last year, you guys were in one of our top 5 offices. And so we would just truly want to thank you. We love working with you guys. You guys hustle. Awesome environment to be in because honestly, some offices are very boring and very bland. So you guys have an awesome office.
That's good. We have a party coming up on the 28th tomorrow, so you should be there.
Okay.
Yeah, mixer.
Okay.
Mixer, 5:30, 7:30.
Okay.
Show up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
we got drinks for you.
oh, sounds good.
Yeah, there you go.
Wonderful.
Yep.
And yeah, just want to let you know, right now people are calling in. They don't have a very big, a very long time for escrow. We usually can get you in within 48 hours, sometimes the next day. So give us a call. It's easy to work with us. You give us a call. We'll send your buyer an email. They will choose the inspection package they want through email. So we don't tell them what they want or anything like that. They choose what they want. They sign our agreement online, and then they also can pay online. So especially if they're out of town, super easy to deal with us. We'll email the report usually that evening, so that makes it easy as well. And we have 4 inspectors to serve you. So one thing we concentrate on is customer service, explaining things, educating, not scaring, not, you know, it's very easy to scare a buyer. So we want to explain and educate them instead. So we love working with you guys. And then also our virtual tours. So all of our inspections are coming with a virtual tour, meaning you can go through every room of the house and
Nice.
spin the camera around 360. Your buyer falls in love with the house more. Plan where they want to put the furniture, this and that. You guys get a copy of it too in case you needed something
Nice.
for it. So we're excited. And,
That's so cool.
Yep.
Thank you for that, by the way. I didn't know that you guys offer that. And then does that with measurements and?
Yes, our premium. So we have our standard package. Well, all of them come with the 360. The premium comes with a measured floor plan, and it gives you actually 2 measurements. So it gives you 2 different floor plans. One's going to tell you the overall dimensions of the room. The other one's going to tell you just about how much every wall is.
Sweet, sweet.
So it's a great addition to what we're already there. We're gathering information so they can go back and look and get all that information. So just in addition to the great home inspection as well.
I love that. We've got our screen shared here, so everyone on Zoom, take a screenshot of that and support the folks that support us. Pillar to Post, Joseph Lang, the Lang team.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everything
Awesome.
you're doing,
Thank you,
man.
guys.
Appreciate you. And if you're on Zoom and you want to swing by for a bite, come on down before it's gone. Awesome, everybody. Be well. Have a great rest of your day. Stay blessed. Stay safe. And thank you for being here. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Thursday, 5:30 to 7:30. And come out. Take it. Have a good time at Owens Bistro in Chino. Sandy, if you can make it, come on out. All right. Be well, everybody.